decided to do a little bit about sports in Timor-Leste because it is the season of the World Cup and because Kevin and I grew up playing sports.
As you can probably guess, the most popular sport in Timor is soccer, or as it's known everywhere, not the US, football. It is played all over Timor, every single village. You can see little boys, primarily, running around kicking the ball in a very loosely organized fashion in pretty much any open space that they can find.
Unfortunately, there's not many girls that are playing soccer right now, but we've had several different Peace Corps volunteers that have tried to put together some tournaments and have been very successful with those tournaments for girl players or for women to play soccer.
As I mentioned, it's really loosely organized most of the time. There are some villages that have organized leagues from time to time, but normally they just kind of pop up. Like in our village last year, there was a Christmas Cup where it seemed like overnight there were just like 12 teams with jerseys and cleats and playing official games with referees. We never saw any of them practice with a coach or anything. It was just seemed very organized all of a sudden. And then once the tournament was over, all the jerseys disappeared and the teams disappeared as well. When it comes to teams that they support, it's pretty much Real Madrid and Barcelona, because two of the most famous players in the world, Ronaldo and Messi, those are the teams that they play for. And then when it comes to the national teams that they support, like right now in the World Cup, of course they pull for Portugal, and that might be because of their former ties with Portugal, but it also might just be because that's who Ronaldo plays for. And then they also really like Brazil. They have this sort of kinship with Brazil, being that they were both former Portuguese colonies, and those are probably the two primary teams that they really are pulling for, or were pulling for in the World Cup.
So Timor-Leste also has a national soccer team. They joined FIFA in 2005, and they won their first international match against Cambodia in 2012 with a score of 5-1. They also had a bit of a scandal in 2014 with nationalizing a couple of Brazilian players to use for their own team, but the soccer team's moved past that, and we're hoping that they'll start winning more international games going forward.
Yeah, the quality of the play here is a bit like the country as a whole. It's still developing. So after soccer, second most popular sport is maybe a bit of a surprise, but it's probably volleyball. We see people playing volleyball all over the place. In our village, people play every afternoon.
And unlike soccer, volleyball is more of a gender-neutral sport, so you see women and men playing.
And you see organized tournaments where there's a men's team playing against a men's team, but also women's teams when they're playing officially. But when they're just playing pickup games in the afternoon, there's guys and girls playing together all the time.
Some of the other sports that are played throughout Timor-Leste but aren't necessarily as popular as soccer or volleyball include things such as basketball, which Kevin's a part of the Baucau team.
Salazar.
Track and field, so there's a lot of running groups, weightlifting, and ping pong.
And Timor actually qualified one person for the Winter Olympics this past year, and this is a big surprise, but they had a skier in the Olympics representing Timor-Leste.
Is there snow in Timor-Leste?
No snow. It was a French guy whose mom is from Timor-Leste, so he was able to compete for the Timorese.
And Timor-Leste also competes in the Special Olympics, which is really exciting. And the Special Olympics game will be held next year in 2019 in the UAE.
One other sport that's pretty popular here is cycling. Timor hosts the Tour de Timor every year, which is one of the most grueling mountain bike races in the whole world. People from all over the world come to race through the mountains of Timor on their bikes, and that has become a huge draw for tourism in Timor-Leste.
Also, Timor-Leste has the Dili Marathon, City of Peace. The first race was run in 2010 and was really promoted and organized by Nobel Peace Prize winner José Ramos Horta. Now, the Dili Marathon has over 8,000 runners every year, and it also contributes to the tourism of Timor-Leste.
And hopefully we'll be two of those 8,000 on August 18th this year.
If we can keep training.
Yeah. Hopefully that provides a little bit of an overview of sports in Timor. As Becca mentioned, sports have always been a really big part of our life. They've been a big part of our service here as well, playing with the kids all the time. And we wanted to share a little bit about what they look like and what some of the most popular ones are here in Timor-Leste.
Yeah.
Good?
Good.